Well, hello everyone. You're here to show you that the Matthews Born for Education coloring right here. As you see right here is a color drawing right here of me whenever I was about 4. It's like I would say about maybe about 6 or 7. I was probably about 6 or 7. And this coloring right here, along right here, you got the backpack, and then along with the lunchbox and along with the school bus. Here talking to you about stories about from whenever we were younger, the memories that we have, and whenever we were younger, that whenever we would catch the school bus. And the thing is that a lot of times whenever we're born, that a lot of times whenever we were born and raised, that you would think about is that you look at your baby pictures, and then you think about the fact about maybe that if you knew what a napkin was, and then of course maybe if you knew what a fork was, maybe if you knew that maybe the taste of the ice cream and along with the birthday cake, or maybe the taste of your favorite dessert or whatever. But of course, a lot of people would probably think that whenever you go to school, that whenever you go, that you would think about that if people look at you as like smart or stupid, or as like you so far as with your skills, and then along with your talents, and along with with your memories. And a lot of people would probably think that you don't know exactly where to start, because whenever you that a lot of times that if people were to, let's just say that I never wrote it in a diary, I never had a diary that I know of, but if people were to keep like a notebook or a diary, that they would maybe use it, maybe to write their feelings, or to maybe to keep in memory that from what they remember, and then what they're recognized for is that whenever they were in school, that the things that they wanted to study, and then of course the things that they do remember about the teachers that they had. But one thing that I do remember is staying out at the bus stop, and I'm talking about between 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that, going out to the bus stop. And I remember getting up and getting dressed, and then my parents would help me get ready for school. And a lot of times that there would be a bus stop on the far end of the front yard right there, where we would catch the school bus at the old the house that I used to live at, and then along with 3 other locations. And then of course but basically is that with this picture right here is drawn up at the house where I used to live at. But I remember that I would catch the school bus right about 7-8 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Maybe whenever I was younger, I think about 9:30 is whenever I went out there to go catch a school bus. And I remember I would catch it in front of the house right there. I would ride a separate school bus compared to my other siblings. And of course, I guess the reason why is because we went to different schools at the time. And then but I remember that once or twice that go out to the school bus, and then it's like once or twice I didn't even think that there was school at all. Of course, my parents a couple of times didn't think that there was going to be school at all, and then the bus would come and then it'd be like, well, he has school today. And but other than that, is that they're talking about with me is that with that it's like with that Matthew said, it's like born for education. It is that think about is that if you want to think of a few things, a few ways that you want to know where to start, is start out with your favorite color. And it's like, of course, it'll be blue. It's like you got the blue, you got light blue, dark blue, and then along with the red. But let's just say maybe if you want to add some what you call maybe some yard, it would be like a tree in the backyard. But let's just say that go ahead and just add some landscape back there. Back in the yard right there, you got the fence right there. But other than that, let's go ahead and add it's like add some detail right here around the book bag. Like add like a little background for the book bag right here. But basically, is that as most of us we would know that that a couple times I would say that the dreams that I would have, that I would have dreams about, is that being having to be out at the bus stop. If I remember right, that getting out at the bus stop on time was kind of what you call was like a time factor. That sometimes the bus drivers would not like it whenever if you were a few minutes late. And of course, it's like that. I don't think I ever remember getting a bus ticket, but I think maybe about once or twice. I don't think it was considered kind of like a bus ticket, but I don't ever remember seeing one. I remember the principal over there at my old school, you would say that there was a report that I had gotten a bus ticket. I think for one of them was not remain in my seat properly or whatever you call it, but a lot of the rules that they have on the bus that they say that is to remain on your seat, and but anyway, you go to school, and a lot of times people would probably think that it's like when on your first day of school that you would that there would be seats. A lot of times the seats will be written, and of course that I can maybe show an example right here. But say go ahead, say for student for smart, I'll just say that the desk would be right about right here, and I'll go in right up above here. But it's like a lot of times that they would I remember that once or twice I would show up for school, and a lot of times that this is how they would write my name on the desk. Be Matthew McGuire. And I remember that once or twice, it's like they would do like that they would use like what you call as permanent that type of writing type markers just to write your name. But then of course about that is how they would usually spell the name, and of course in your middle initial S. But other than that is that they would assign a desk for you, and a lot of times there would be like a little a compartment right here where you can, if you wanted to keep any it's like any writing pens or whatever you call it, if you had to bring some pencils and notebooks or whatever you call it to school for that first day. And of course it's like for smart and stupid, but a lot of people would probably think that the thing about is like known by the classroom rules, to know that is to respect others. And whenever you show up for school, a lot of times I guess those teachers would probably say that have this kids that have their issues, and then of course they would have issues about getting along with other students, and then about doing their work or whatever. But on the other hand too, that we can also know that with our education that a lot of times with most parents and then most principals and teachers would probably say that you'll realize how important it is whenever you get older. And I'm just warning that a lot of times it's like for most education is like, why is it that we don't realize how important it is right there and then? And I'm thinking that a lot of it has to do with the fact about maybe of I don't know about how they teach you this stuff, but basically is that that maybe if whenever you get older you understand, or maybe it is that you're just not old enough to really understand the whole purpose about maybe to why you're there at the school, and then they went ahead and throw all this paperwork at you, or it's like they want to put on your desk and they expect you to do it. Otherwise they say that that there's your grade, you will fail you, it's a D or a B or something like that. But other than that is that we can all understand that it's like we're not born perfect. It's like we wore glasses I think whenever I was about 9-10 years old, but not born to be perfect. But then on the other hand too, that all realize that about our education is that about our future is to know that that where we decide to do is it's like it's about us about focusing on about what our interests are. And a lot of people would probably think that our interests, you got a lot of interests, but you just don't know which one to pick. But then on the other hand too, that you could probably think about is that something that you want to do, and then of course just to kind of make like an interest about it is fact about a good example is starting out with your favorite color. And a lot of people will probably think that maybe Blue Jay, or maybe the Smurfs, or when you say anything that will be kind of say like blue. But on the other hand too, that you could probably think is like you put like a bluebird in the background. And of course this could be the morning bird, or the morning tweet, or whatever you say, that the morning tweet is like for the bird song. And then you have right here for the morning bird right here, start off with your favorite colors. You got the light blue and then the dark blue right here. Go ahead and maybe add some blue for the feathers right here. And after that, and then go ahead and add some red. And then of course with the red, you can maybe put like a few red leaves right here. It's like if we're about fall time. And then of course, if you want to add the sun, it's like for the morning sun. Sun will be shining. It's like for morning. And I remember a couple times whenever I was young, that it would be daylight when school would come. But when daylight that day, sometimes a lot of times it would be daylight whenever school morning had to be at the bus, but sometimes it would still be dark. And it's like one or that. It's like like try to keep yourself up, ready for whenever the school bus got there. On the other hand, too, that with the school bus is like think about is that every now and then have dreams about the school bus. It's like you had to be out there at the school bus, and the school bus would just take off and not even bother to come pick you up or whatever if you were out there on time. It's like it reminds me of that little bit of that song. It's like wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting up for you. No matter my heart breaks, I will be right here waiting for you. And other than that, is that you can also maybe phrase it as like well, whatever goes on, whatever it takes, I will be right here waiting for you. And then the fact about it is that if you're not out there at the bus stop on time, then more likely it's like and I'll call you when I get here, and I'll let you know when I need to leave. Other than that, a lot of times with technologies nowadays, that they have it to where that if you would be standing out at the bus stop, then some people probably say they got their phone, go ahead and call just to make sure that the bus is going to be coming or whatever. But other than that, it's like speaking of toys. The toys that maybe we be thinking about is the fact about it's like the toys that maybe we can buy. It's like from the money that we earn, or from our talents. But other than that, it's like for the Matthews born for education coloring. You get the coloring of man. It's like born for education.